The second of the tennis Grand Slam tournaments is nearly here, and we're here to help you prepare to place your bets on the 2019 French Open. Hello, everyone. I'm Drew Goldfarb, joined by Rick Rockwell, and today we're going to go through all of the tips and tricks you need to know before betting on a tennis Grand Slam tournament, as well as giving you our picks for the 2019 French Open. So, Rick, first of all, besides picking a tournament winner, what types of bets can someone place on a Grand Slam tennis tournament like the French Open?
You know, if we're talking about in the beginning, before the tournament actually starts, you've got some future bets where you can pick who wins the tournament outright, or which is also the same as picking the outright winner in terms of money lines and stuff like that, which we'll get into. Then you got prop bets. We got so many different prop bets for this, for any Grand Slam actually, but for the French Open, whether it's a specific person winning or a combination of a couple people winning versus the field and so forth. We had some interesting ones with the Australian temper tantrum. And although he withdrew from the French Open, there was some funny prop bets for that too. So you have those options as well. Pretty much like any major sporting event, you have opportunities to bet on more than just, say, one single player to win it all or to win a specific match. When you actually get into the tournament, then you can bet on specific matches, over-unders for the matches, spreads for the individual matches and stuff like that, point totals, all that good stuff. There's a lot to bet on in any major Grand Slam tournament. It's the same. I don't want to say it's like the Super Bowl, but it's similar in terms of having a large volume of types of wagers that you can bet on before, during, and near the end of the tournament.
Well, that kind of, and I think, answers a lot of my next question, which was, how do you suggest betting on one of these tournaments? Do you think there's more money to be made and fun to be had in picking a player or two to win, or prop bets and wagers on individual matches better bang for your buck, or is it about kind of spreading your betting dollar around and making sure you cover all of those bases?
I think it depends on what your bankroll is. If you have a set amount set aside for something like the French Open, then you have more options in terms of, okay, or more flexibility in terms of saying, hey, do I want to just pick a winner and let it ride for the whole tournament? Do I want to bet on different players throughout the tournament? Because we're talking a 2-week tournament, which means you have plenty of opportunities to bet on specific matches each and every day. Because most of the major players, their matches will have betting odds, will have spreads, will have over-unders for point totals and stuff like that, money lines outright. So for me, I love the prop bets because they're fun. You don't have to worry about specific players, how they produce results. You can just pick some of them. Or if you want to just pick a player and ride through the whole tournament, if you're, you know, let me take a step back. It also depends on how experienced you are betting on tennis. Okay. If you're a beginner, I would say the easiest things to do is probably pick one or two players and maybe just pick them outright to win, or maybe ride them throughout the tournament and pick their matches and bet on individual matches, depending on who they're playing. Because in the beginning, they're going to be playing players that are, you know, there's a great disparity of talent, so the odds aren't going to produce a good value or a good return. Or you can go with prop bets, because the prop bets are pretty simple to understand. It basically either this has to happen or this has to happen, and that's pretty much it. So, but if you're more experienced, there are a lot of opportunities to get the most bang for your buck. And I think more experienced bettors will use the whole tournament and look for specific opportunities to increase their chances of winning, basically. Look for the good odds, look for the value, look for good matchups and stuff like that. That's how I would treat it.
Let's get into this year's French Open specifically. What prop bets do you like for this tournament, or what are you going to be keeping an eye out for as the tournament progresses?
Prop bets heading into the tournament, there were several good ones on both the men and the women. For the men, and I mentioned this in our Odds On Favorites podcast, there was one that literally said, will Nadal or Novak Djokovic win the tournament, or will it be the field? So you basically get to choose the field or the two best players. And so to me, you know, that's the easiest prop bet to pick, because it's either going to be Nadal or Djokovic. And we'll get into that in a second. And there's some other ones on the women's side. There's some where you can pick Serena and Sloane Stephens, one of those two to win it versus the field, and so forth. So, and we had a bunch with Nick. I can't even pronounce his name. I just call him Crybaby. Nick Crybaby. But since he withdrew, we can't go with those. But those were a lot of fun also. We talked about on our podcast this week. So if you can find someone that you find entertaining that you think will make good money off of, but, stick with that. Keep an eye out for that, because here's the thing that a lot of people, especially beginners, don't realize. Sports betting sites are going to constantly provide more opportunities in terms of prop bets as the tournament goes on. Half the time they're just not going to say, oh, hey, these are our prop bets. That's it. This is what you have to go with for the whole tournament. There's going to be other opportunities. There might be some more exciting ones to come up that we don't know about now. So always keep an eye on that. We always talk about shopping for the best lines. Well, also you can shop for the best prop bets.
Well, as far as picking winners goes for the tournament, where does the smart money go for the men's side and the women's side in the singles tournaments?
Hey, the men's side, that's the easiest, okay? I mean, they set this up perfectly in terms of trying to get the best final they can get. So you have Nadal and Federer in the bottom half, and Djokovic and Dominic Thiem in the top half, okay? Nadal has the easiest path, okay? He has just Federer to go through, and they wouldn't even play against each other to probably the semifinals. I think that was, if I remember correctly. So Nadal basically has a cakewalk to the finals, because although I'm a huge fan of Federer, this is his first time back since 2015. He's not dominant on clay like Nadal is. And so that's basically going to be Nadal's toughest competition. The only thing that's going to be tougher for him on the way to getting to Federer is his health. And right now he looks healthy, but he's been banged up in the past, and sometimes that's slowed him down. It caused him to withdraw. He withdrew, I think it was 2016 because of a wrist injury. So that would be the only thing to be concerned about. In the top half for the men's is Djokovic and Dominic Thiem that will probably go against each other in the semifinal up there. Djokovic has the harder path to get to the finals to win the whole thing. He's got to go against the two top clay court tennis players in Dominic and Rafael to win it. So my predictions before we got the draw was Djokovic. It's hard to say Djokovic now because of the draw he has, because he's got to go through the two best clay court. The odds and the smart money are with Rafael Nadal, plain and simple. He's won 11 of 14. He has the most wins in the history of the French Open. He has a 97% win percentage. He's won the last two French Opens. He just won in Rome. He's looking healthy. He's feeling good. Smart money goes with him. Because I'm a stubborn guy, I'm going to still ride with Novak Djokovic, the Joker, to win it all. But it's really hard for him now. He's got two tough matches to win it. Then to the women's, oh my goodness, this is a crapshoot. Prior to the draw, and even on our podcast, I said, I'm taking Kiki versus Osaka. One of those two are going to win it. With the draw coming out yesterday after, I put my French Open blogs out and we talked about it on the podcast, we got the draw now, and we can see that's a possibility. Osaka's in the top half, Kiki's in the bottom half. The problem is that top half is loaded. You've got Osaka, Serena Williams, and the defending champ, Simona Halep, up there with Madison Keys, with, Barty, and Ostapenko, or maybe not Ostapenko, Kvitova. You got basically like 5 of the top 7 or 8 French Open women's players right now in the top half. It's going to be brutal. Like, whoever survives that, who knows if they have anything left by the time you get to the finals. Serena and Osaka can end up playing against each other in the quarterfinals. That's going to be brutal. And then in the bottom half, you got Sloane Stephens, you got Kiki, you got Angelique Kerber, and Plastova. So it's a little less brutal because Kerber and Plastova will play each other in maybe the quarterfinals at the latest. Stephens and Kiki could end up playing against each other by the quarterfinals. Basically, the bottom half has a better draw in terms of less top-rated players to go through to get to the finals. So for me, I'm sticking with Kiki to win it all. I like her draw. I don't, I said this on our podcast, all the so-called experts, they call her a late bloomer because she's coming on strong, and she is coming on strong. She's looking better. She's fourth-ranked woman in the world. She was 10th at the beginning of the year, or 9th at the beginning of the year. So she's been going up because of her play. She's looking strong. She's looking tough. If she comes in with poise, like she's been showing, with the form she has, she's going to be tough to beat, and I'm sticking with her.
All right, Rick Rockwell, thank you very much. Rick has plenty more detail on this year's French Open, betting odds online at gamblingsites.org. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Odds On Favorites YouTube channel for even more picks, tips, and how-to guides. Who do you think wins this year's French Open? Let us know in the comments below. For Rick Rockwell, I'm Drew Goldfarb. Thanks for watching. See you next time.